And a good 1st of September 2018, Saturday to everybody. Time for the tropical update with J7409, and my goodness, what a difference a night makes. Boom! People be aware. People be aware of Florence from the Bahamas to Florida to Georgia, possibly up to North Carolina. People be aware in the Gulf Coast. I've got lots to show you this morning. This stuff is so up in the air, it is unbelievable this morning. First, we will start out over here. This has a little more punch to it, not a whole lot. Well, let's get this down here so you can see what the National Hurricane Center has to say. Here we go. Okay. It's only risen 10% in the next 5 days, but I think this storm may have a little more punch to it than what it's looking like. No, not a hurricane. It might be a tropical storm, though. I said it might. I'm not saying it's going to be. I'm saying it's looking like it could very well be to me. But here's what the experts have to say. It says a tropical wave interacting with an upper level trough is producing disorganized showers and thunderstorms from Hispaniola northward across the Turks and the Calico Islands, and this activity is forecast to spread west-northwestward, enhancing rainfall across portions of Hispaniola, the Turks, the Calico Islands, and the Bahamas, as well as Florida and the northern Gulf of Mexico coast through the middle of next week. Now, strong upper-level winds are expected to prevent development of the system during the next couple of days, but environmental conditions could become less hostile when the system moves across the northern Gulf of Mexico during the early to middle part of next week, and we're going to check that out, okay? In 2 days, 0%. In 5 days, 20%. And now we have Florence over here this morning. It's looking like, folks, Florence is going to stay a very high end, right on the verge of being a hurricane, but not quite making it tropical storm this morning. Who knows when I come back with a tropical update? Can probably all be different, just like it is this morning. I really have some things to show you. I suggest everyone watch this to the end. Now, with Florence this morning, the winds are 40 miles per hour. The minimum central pressure, 1,003 millibars, located 14.6 north, 27.2 west, and Florence is moving west-northwest at around 12 miles per hour. Now, we're looking at, of course, the TVCN model, this black track right here. Here are the other models here. This black track, this model takes all of these models, does the formula, and makes its own track. Not saying that it's going to go like this, but I have a lot of things to show you with this morning, okay? Now, Florence is traveling around the edge of a subtropical ridge, everybody, and after about 48 hours, it's going to reach a break in that ridge, and that should cause it to slow down and turn more to the northwest to west areas, okay? This by Thursday or Friday. Now, the European model has it going to move big time to the west, and most of the models seem to be trending away from what they have of the recurvation scenario, like, it's going to come out and go up and la-di-da-di-da. This is just what it's looking like right now. Next time we look at this, it's probably going to change. Now, Florence has got a lot of things that make it could strengthen. Florence has got a lot of things that says it can't strengthen. Okay? It seems that for the next 2 to 3 days at least, wind shear should be what it's going through, but it's going to be low wind shear. But then after that, the environmental conditions in general are going to be poor. Then they're going to get better. Then the wind shear is going to pick up again. So there's lots of things right now that we have to watch about Florence. Now, looking at my European model, I can't go quite as far as my Fox can. It can go another day out. I'm going to show you all of that stuff. But first, let's concentrate on the Gulf. Okay, let's concentrate over here. This is on Monday afternoon around 1. You can see that this is getting ready to come off the coast of Florida. what we've got going on, folks, remember the high pressure yesterday? It pushed out. Well, guess what? Another one's going to build back in. Look at that. See, this is high pressure. All of this is high pressure, pushing these systems down so they can't just go woof up and out. Anyway, let's check this out right quick. Now, like I say, this is Monday afternoon around 1 p.m., so we'll go up to early Tuesday morning. And you can see now it is a low pressure within itself, but there's no tightly compacted isobars. So this just looks like a big fat, at this point, rainstorm, okay? Lots of rain in it. We'll move a little further, about 12 hours ahead to 6 p.m. Tuesday. Then it starts to get a little bit of isobars, but they're still not tightly compacted. No sign of a hurricane. And we'll have to wait and see about the tropical storm because the barometric pressure is still falling in it. But let's check the winds out at this point and see what it's like. Yes, these are sustained winds, by the way. They're not really horrific, but let's see. Around 43 miles per hour, so that's tropical storm strength. And that is sustained. So let's check out the gust. And the gust in this thing with the wind is 63 knots. 63 knots. So that's even a little more. So yeah, I'd say this is probably going to turn out to be a tropical storm. If it does, it will be called Gordon. If it does, I didn't say it was, I'm just saying, showing you what the European model is showing us right now. If it does, it will become Gordon. So let's put back the rain and the thunder. And here it is here. So we'll hop on over to Wednesday morning around 4 a.m. You can see the center is still not on any land, but all of you guys from the Florida Panhandle up to Alabama to Mississippi and Louisiana get right, and Texas, you too. Now, the barometric pressure now is very low at 29.27. I'll get a little more in detail with this as the days go by. And here is Wednesday afternoon around 3. Looks like it's coming in land now around Louisiana and going up into Mississippi. Watch the winds like when it reaches shore. These are sustained winds, not looking too terribly bad because 23. So you can handle that. That's no problem. It's not going to be the wind. The wind, before it actually gets to land, it's going to cause a lot of trouble along the shorelines for people. It's going to be pumping in that water, okay? And how about gust right quick? Yeah, still, you can see all the wind gust here. What's going to be hitting land at this time? 54 knots. So that's pretty good wind so far as a gust go. Now we will come back right quick. I know this is long, but I've got to take this storm by storm or system by system, or whatever you choose to call it. So Thursday, around 7 a.m., it's moving across Louisiana. Friday at 9 a.m., then it's starting to come into Texas. All of you guys right up in here, does it still have wind? Sustained winds aren't too terribly bad. Does it have any gust? Yeah, it still has some gust to it. And they're about 42 knots, the wind gust. It will have some sustained wind in the area of around probably, I'd say, anywhere from 30 to 35 miles per hour. So we'll go to Friday evening around 9 p.m. and it is moving down the coast, going right over the Houston area, okay? So this is as far as I'm going to go on this one. You can see 30, 3006, high pressure pushing it down. That's why it's riding the coastline, okay? And it should continue to ride the coastline. And I'll get more detail on this one in a little bit. But I am saying, folks, everybody from the Florida coast all the way up the Panhandle, all the way across Alabama, Mississippi, Louisiana, and the Texas coast. Don't really get upset, but on the same side, it looks like this could be a tropical storm for you. Might be a little more than what everybody's forecasting. Not saying it's going to, just showing you what I see. So do prepare, okay? Okay, a few moments ago, I told you when it come to Florence, the intensity models were all over the place. Well, you look at this, gee golly, wow, we've got all of these down here saying it's going to stay at this strength. We got all of these up here saying it's going to stay at this strength. And then we've got these two up here. Most of the time when the models are in agreement, the majority, this is about half and half and just two, okay? There's not a happy medium in here. So the strengthening at this point is really hard to tell. It's looking like, though, it may hit 70. I don't think it'll hit 75 right now. Who knows though? We need to keep our eyes on this. Okay, this is set on September 11th. We want to click it on through right quick here, so we'll get up to the first for today. And of course, this is from MyFox. So European model is up to date, the latest run, easy for you to see. And I'm going to show you on my regular one. It's the very same thing, okay? Now, here we go. All right, all of this red and this brown is a high pressure building back in. It's going to make a lot of difference. And here is Florence with how the steering goes. And here we go. Keep your eye on Florence as we move through. You can see Florence kind of weakens down. Look at that. See how Florence is weakening down and the other system has come off the coast now. And here is the system. See, you guys need to keep your eyes open and please listen to your local weather forecast and keep abreast of everything in your particular area with this system. So now we're going to move up to the 7th. This system starts to die out a little, as I just showed you, once it comes across the land. And look, this looks like nothing. Florence looks like she's dead. This system's still here. But watch what happens. Florence gets in warm water. No wind shear. And Florence is headed right over towards anywhere from North Carolina down to Florida, and the Bahamas will probably feel something too. And this system right behind it is starting to intensify. And this is as far as we can go, the 11th of September. Here is Florence. It's just north of the Bahamas at this point. It may hit Florida, it may not, Georgia, South Carolina. We'll have to wait and see. And you can see this is still a low pressure system right here. Should be bringing lots of rain to Texas. And this sucker, we got to look out and watch it too, because it is intensifying also. Now let's concentrate, excuse me, on Florence here. And then we have a low here and a low here. This is set for the 7th of September already, okay? So we're going to move it up to around 1 p.m. 8th, which is Saturday. We're going to see how this stuff progresses along. We'll go to Sunday, around 1 p.m. You can see that this is still moving over this way. It's not going up yet. This one has a little curvature in it, and this one's kind of fizzling out now. It's not even considered a low pressure system. It's just a tropical wave. This one's still here. I can only go as far as Monday at 7 p.m. on this particular model that I'm using with the European here, but you see it has it moving over this way also. And this one's getting a little better organized with a few more isobars, but by this time it's looking like Florence has her act together as a very high-end tropical storm. And we're going to wrap it up here. All the watches and warnings for the tropical storm warning that were for the Cabo Verde Islands, well, there are none now. They have all been discontinued, okay? They have all been discontinued. Once again, Florence is moving around 14 miles per hour west-northwest this morning, and it is expected to continue this way through Tuesday, okay? And the winds are around 40 miles per hour with higher gusts, and the tropical storm force winds are extending outward around 35 miles from the center. And so far as rain goes, it's looking like 1 to 2 inches of rain across the southern Cabo Verde Islands today. And that's it for the tropical update this morning. I'll be sure and watch this stuff. Any changes that I see, I will put them up later this afternoon and evening for you. What a difference a night makes again. All these things are beginning to change. I will say this, I think that with 90 days left in hurricane season, it's possible we could have some in October somewhere. It's very possible. Not saying it's not going to, but with all of the conditions the way they seem to be, it seems to me looking like September is going to be the month. If you have any kind of tropical storm or hurricane threat, it should be this month. However, though, we have to go through to the 1st and 2nd of November to make sure we don't get any. It is possible we can have some. I'm just saying the conditions this year are just looking like this is the month. So with all of that said and done, please, please, please subscribe, everybody. I know all my people who watch me, you have your hurricane kits ready. If you need them for tropical storms or hurricanes, I hope you do anyway. Please subscribe, click the bell, check off the email notifications to make sure you get all this information. Share it with your friends, especially my people down around the Gulf Coast states. This could turn into a bigger storm than what it is being forecast. I'm not saying it's going to, but you know what? Go ahead and prepare. And if you don't need this stuff, you can always use it later. It's not like you're wasting money or wasting your time and energy. It's better to be prepared. And I've showed you exactly what it's looking like. So with that all said and done, please subscribe. Please share this information. And we just best keep our eyes on Florence too, because Florence hadn't sang her last note yet. I love you guys. Have a good weekend, a safe weekend, and much peace, love, and kindness to each of you. I thank you for everything you do for me, and I'll be back with you later with the good Lord's will. Thanks for watching.